Gang, welcome to Clutch's Corner. Let's get right on into it. We're going to be talking about the watch list for tomorrow and everything that I'm looking at for potentially a turnaround Tuesday. So we'll see what goes on. ABBV is the first one right in here. Two really easy price targets are found at yesterday's low and then the previous day before that's low. And in the middle is just by going to the 30-minute time frame and seeing the congestion that's happening right in here and picking this out right there. The bottom of that too, this can be the bottom of the algorithm that I can see where it's going to have a lot of trouble getting beneath this. But if we can, then we can go on to the final price target. But if we hit a stopping point on the way between here and here, it's going to be right here. So ABV actually, it looks really good too. Like this is one of like the best looking failed twos that you could possibly have. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bearish pin bar. Next, Baba. I'm actually really excited for Baba. Baba in the like long term of things has just been like dunking down from where it was at. It is kind of hitting a wall right here, as we can see, but I do think that we have the potential to test it out and see where it can go. The final price target, I'm just going to show you that one first, is from all the way out here, right? And the reason why is because clearly there's a gap to be filled here for Baba, and this is going to be like, filling it on the way to here at least. But right in here, if you look, you can see that this wicks off of it, this wicks off of it, this wicks off of it, this wicks through it, through it, through it, through it, through it, through it. So all of this is, my daughter's like, oh, I see what you see. So all of this is showing that there's a strong algorithm right in here, right? And that is where I can identify it. So that is the extra range that it could have. The low of the day here, and this is the gap fill. Just if I didn't say that already, this is just because of the gap fill here. I don't think that it'll gap fill all the way to here in one day, but it might. It might. So if you're watching the video, extra price target for you. And we're going to zoom into the 30 minutos to find that early ET in here. Oh my goodness. Right in here. We just can't ignore that where we got 1, 2, 3 candles all wicking off of this. We just can't ignore that early price target. Is it close? Sure. I wish it wasn't 9 cents away, but data's data. Wicked off of that 3 times, so we're going to be prepared for it. Now, I have here, this is the all-time highs for crowd if we do end up crossing this final price target in here. Now, these are pretty much found also on the daily. Now, this is just a beautiful fail too. It took out some price targets that were on the watch list today. Basically, just if you were having your positions here today, they fought for it and won. They got a little liquidated, but then they fought for it and won. They're pushing it back up now. So now these positions are going to have to come through and fight and see if they have what it takes to either push it back down or will they lose their strength. Now, PTs are pretty easy to see here because we have the entry here, PT1, PT2, PT3. There's no price targets above that because there's no price above that. It has not been that before, and they are pretty close together because that's just where things have wicked and come down from. So crowd looks good, but then once you cross that final price target, you are now at all-time highs. So you don't have any price targets beyond that point. Something that's a little bit more manageable to trade is Roblox, which is wedging up here with the 2-1-2-2 rev that's forming. It's not a failed 2, but come on now, y'all. Who really has control of this candle? Buyers have control from the low to the closing. Sellers have control from the high to the closing. Now, when we look at it like this, who has control of this candle? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Who has control of it? The buyers do. The buyers do, exactly. The buyers have complete control of this candle. So we don't need it to be a failed 2. It being a beautiful pin bar all on its own is letting us know what we need to know. So we're going to have price targets of the high of the 2, high of the 1. We're going to zoom into the 30-minute to see what we got in here. Bam. Top of this 2, top of this 1, top of that 2, which I believe is the high of the 1. But these are just going to be places where people are obviously going to have their stop losses if they've been in puts. Here, if you look, you can see that there is an algorithm where it is wicking off of this area pretty harshly. Going beyond that, hey, bring this back. Going beyond that to the next one, you can see where this is all wicking off of it, and it even wicks off of it to the upside here. So there is clearly an algorithm in there. Next is going to be right in here, where we can see this 3 gets really close to it. Actually, if I can, there we go. There we go. The 3 actually touches it. Boom. So we have 2 candles that are wicking off of this. And then beyond here is going to be the first pit stop and the last pit stop on the way to its final price target. So Roblox actually looks really, really good. I'm very excited for Roblox. Oh, that's the 2-day candle. There we go, the daily. I was like, that looks different. And I do think that we'll break through this wedge and we'll come test the top of this trend as well. Not tomorrow, the day after that, before we see another rejection. NVIDIA, for all those that have not been able to afford it before, tomorrow or today, depending on the time that you're watching this, is the day. This is the day for you, because NVIDIA is giving a beautiful failed 2 after a 3 rev, striding this bad boy up for a 3-2-2 rev. We're going to go into the 30-minute time frame to find some price targets, and we're not going to be stingy with it because we know that NVIDIA is a very heavily traded thing. We're going to be prepared for anything that could happen. So first price target is found here, where you can see this 3, this 2 is wicking through it to the upside, but then we're having a lot of trouble getting and staying above it. And when we get above it, we try to stay above it. So that's going to be where that first price target is. Second price target right in here, where you can see that there is a nice little swing low in here. We're wicking through it here. We're trying to decide what we want to do. We crack through it. We immediately reject back to the downside off of it. We're still trying to figure it all out here. That's where the algorithm is. Okay. Next is the top of that 1 right in here, because you can see the wick to the downside, the wicking through, then the congestion, the trying to figure out what it wants to do, double wicking through it here, double wicking through it here. It's not a coincidence. It's having trouble getting and staying above this, and it's going to be the top of the 1 that shows us where that algorithm is. And then, of course, the high of the 3. No brainer, but we can continue this to see that we're wicking through it here, wicking through it, wicking off of it, wicking through it. Going to be a spot for some testing. So this is beautiful for NVIDIA. Really, really excited for NVIDIA, to be honest. I'm definitely going to be crossing my fingers, hoping that it does not gap up in the morning or anything crazy and allows us to play it like AMD did for me today. Congratulations to everybody that made money with AMD and PayPal and BBY that I signaled today. If you want to learn how you could have made money with it easily, just watch the last video that I just put out publicly. These are going to all be privated again in the future soon. I just talked with someone this weekend that was like, yeah, I really enjoyed watching your videos. And I was like, you know what, let me make the next couple ones that I do public again. So here we are. Shouts out to you. Netflix. Netflix, very bullish pin bar here, wicking off of the same area 1, 2, 3 times on the daily time frame. We're going to zoom into the 30-minute here to see what price targets can be found. And this is going to be a classic case of steps in the beginning, top of the 3, top of the 2. If you were inputs, this is just simply where you would have your stop loss. Top of this failed 2, because now we can see it getting wicky all in through this, right? So we're going to pay attention to that top of this 2, because same thing, just look at all this contention and fighting through it. And then the top of this 2, we're going to have 3 different spots right here in the battle of the algorithms that this area right in here is going to be giving. Those are the 3 pit stops during that battle. So we'll see if we can make it through there. Netflix is expensive. I suggest getting further out expiration, further out strike prices out of the money. Just make sure that you are sitting with something like a delta above 20, 21, 22, 20. It's like best. Don't get anything in the teens. It won't be worth it for the price that you're paying. Just my opinion. DLTR. took out weekly entry and PT1 today, and then immediately got excited. So congratulations to you if you took the DLTR play that I signaled, made some money off of that. And now it is setting up with a bearish pen bar here to the downside. We can see that it's the sellers that have control of this candle. Moving into the 30-minute time frame, boom, we're going to see we have PT1 right here, where all of this is having trouble like getting and staying above. PT2, where we can sort of see that same contention happening in here. PT3, where we can see all this is getting a little rowdy with it. PT4, right in here, you can see all of this deciding or trying to decide. And then PT5 for that final PT, which is the low of that day. So we'll see what DLTR does. That should be an easy play tomorrow as well. And then shout out to anybody that uses the 50 because it rejecting weekly PT1 could show that it is now done, and we could be potentially looking at an outside week here. So if we're looking at an outside week, get ready to get some puts and ride those out just to the weekly stop loss and then get out of it once it becomes a weekly 3. So big shout out to Linda. I already feel like Linda already might be looking at that if she was checking out DLTR. Dollar Tree. So Meta is the final thing on my watch list for tomorrow. Something I am very excited for. I actually really love trading Meta. Part of the reason that I'm excited for this is exactly what I just mentioned before, the FIB 50. It broke the weekly entry and then immediately rejected it. So there is a potential that we are going to be looking at an outside week on Meta. And with that being said, we could have the daily give us an earlier entry than the 50% retracement. So let's see if that happens, and price targets along the way outside of the FIB 50, just with price itself, are going to be found here off of this one, because good golly, Miss Molly, look at all of this having trouble with it. And this is a massive bar to the downside. So I'm not going to just sit here and rely on this and say, oh yeah, that's going to be where PT1 is. This is where PT1 is. This is where PT2 is. And then real strong PT3 here. We can see that all of this is bouncing on it to the upside. So that's definitely going to be a spot where it has to decide what it wants to do. PT4 is the top of this algorithm because there's going to be a battle of the algorithms in here for sure. PT4, PT5 is there. And then props to you if you catch the FIB 50 with us and you're able to ride that out to the weekly stop loss for what could potentially be the absolute final price target. So yeah, awesome. Hopefully you enjoy this. Keep in mind that soon I'm gonna keep putting these out, but majority of them are gonna be privated. I'm thinking maybe I'll do like 2 a week for the public and everything else for my students and my Discord group. So God bless. I'll see y'all soon. I'm gonna go make some dinner for this one. Say bye.
Bye.
Say like and subscribe.
Bye.
Say like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
All right.
I'm making ice cream, Daddy.
You want ice cream?
Yeah, I want ice cream.
Oh, let's go buy some stocks and ice cream.
Bye.